I'm 81 years old, and I've been married to the same woman for 60 years. Her name is Margaret. She's sitting in the next room right now, probably reading or watching something on that tablet our grandson set up for her. And I need to tell you something while I still can. We made mistakes. Big ones. The kind that nearly ended us more than once. And if you're married, or thinking about it, you need to hear what we learned too late. People see 6 decades together and assume we had some secret. They ask us at weddings, at family dinners, how did you make it work? And Margaret smiles and I smile and we say something about patience or commitment. But that's not the whole truth. The whole truth is we almost didn't make it. There were years where we lived like strangers under the same roof. Years where I wondered if she even remembered why she married me. Years where the distance between us felt permanent. We didn't figure it out early. We stumbled through, made the same mistakes over and over, hurt each other in ways we didn't even realize until the damage was done. But somewhere along the way, we learned. Not because we were smart or special. Because we had to. Because the alternative was losing each other, and neither of us wanted that more than we wanted to be right. The first mistake we made was keeping score. For probably the first 20 years, I had a running tally in my head. I worked full-time, sometimes overtime. I fixed things around the house. I mowed the lawn every Saturday. I took the car in for oil changes. And whenever Margaret asked me to help with something else, help with the kids or pick something up from the store, I'd feel this flash of irritation. Like, what about everything I'm already doing? I never said it directly. But she knew. You can't hide resentment. It sits in your tone, in the way you sigh when someone asks you for something. And Margaret had her own list. She cooked every meal. She raised our 2 daughters, managed their schedules, stayed up with them when they were sick. She cleaned, she organized, she remembered every birthday and holiday for my side of the family and hers. And when I'd come home tired and sit down in front of the TV, she'd look at me with this expression I didn't understand then. I understand it now. It was exhaustion mixed with anger. The kind you don't say out loud because you're too tired to fight. We wasted years like that. Both of us tallying up who did more, who sacrificed more, who was more tired. Marriage isn't a transaction. It's not about making sure everything's equal down to the last chore or last dollar spent. Some seasons, one person carries more weight. When I got laid off in 1987 and couldn't find work for 5 months, Margaret carried everything. She picked up extra shifts as a secretary, came home, took care of the girls, took care of me even though I didn't ask her to. I couldn't keep score then. And when she had her surgery in the early 2000s and couldn't move for weeks, I did the same. But we spent so much time before that measuring, comparing, building walls out of who owed who what. The shift happened when our younger daughter said something. She was maybe in her 30s, going through her own relationship problems, and she asked Margaret, "Do you and Dad even like each other anymore?" Margaret told me about it later that night, and it broke something open in both of us. Because we did. We loved each other. But we'd spent so long focused on fairness that we forgot we were supposed to be a team. After that, we stopped counting. Not immediately. It took time. But gradually, the resentment faded because we stopped feeding it. The second mistake was thinking we could change each other. Margaret is quiet. She always has been. She doesn't like crowds, doesn't like loud parties, doesn't like being the center of attention. I'm the opposite. I'm social. I like people, I like talking, I like being out in the world. And for years, I tried to pull her out of her shell. I'd push her to come to gatherings, to talk more, to be more like me. And she'd resist, and I'd get frustrated. Why can't you just try? Why can't you just be more open? And she did the same to me in her own way. She'd get upset when I stayed too long at a friend's house or when I made plans without checking with her first. She wanted me to be more thoughtful, more careful, more like her. We were both trying to turn each other into different people. And it doesn't work. It just makes you both feel like you're failing at being who the other person wants. What changed was accepting that Margaret's quiet nature isn't something to fix. It's who she is. It's how she feels safe. And my need to be around people isn't recklessness. It's how I recharge. We had to stop seeing our differences as problems and start seeing them as things to respect. Now, I go out more on my own. I see friends, I go to the community center, I don't drag her along when I know she won't enjoy it. And she doesn't make me feel guilty for it. And when she wants to stay home and have a quiet evening, I don't push her to do more. We stopped trying to remake each other and started letting each other be. The third mistake was not saying things until we exploded. Margaret is guilty of this one more than me, but I did it too. She'd let things build. Little annoyances, little hurts. I'd forget to do something she asked, or I'd make a comment that rubbed her the wrong way, and she wouldn't say anything. She'd think, it's not worth a fight, just let it go. But you can't let everything go. It doesn't disappear. It piles up. I remember one time, must have been around 2005, she completely lost it over something tiny. I can't even remember what it was. Maybe I tracked mud in the house or forgot to call her when I said I would. And suddenly she's crying and yelling about how I never listen, how I don't care, how she's tired of asking me for the same things over and over. And I'm standing there confused because to me, this felt like it came out of nowhere. But it didn't. It had been building for months, maybe longer. If she'd told me earlier, calmly, this bothers me, can we talk about it, we could have handled it. Instead, she stayed quiet until she couldn't anymore, and then it came out as an attack. And I'd do the same thing. I'd be annoyed about something, wouldn't say anything, and then weeks later I'd snap at her over something unrelated. We learned, slowly, to speak up earlier. Not aggressively. Just honestly. This hurt me. This frustrated me. Can we figure this out? It feels awkward at first, but it's better than the alternative. The fourth mistake was treating our marriage like it could run itself. After about 30 years, we stopped trying. We knew each other so well, we'd been through so much, and we just assumed the relationship would sustain itself. We stopped going out together. We stopped really talking beyond logistics. What time is dinner? Did you pay the water bill? When's your doctor's appointment? We became two people living in the same house, coordinating schedules, not much more. It happened so slowly we didn't notice. There was no single moment where we stopped being close. It just faded. The intimacy, the curiosity, the effort. We got comfortable. And comfortable turned into distant. What woke us up was watching our neighbor's divorce after 42 years. Everyone was shocked. But Margaret talked to the wife, and she said they'd been fine for years. Just fine. Not happy, not connected. Just existing. And one day she didn't want to just exist anymore. That terrified Margaret. She told me about it, and we both realized we were heading in the same direction. So we made changes. We started eating dinner together at the table, not in separate rooms. We started going for walks in the evening, just 15 or 20 minutes, but it was time that was ours. We started asking each other real questions again. What are you thinking about? What made you smile today? And we brought back date nights. Nothing fancy. Sometimes just driving to get coffee and sitting in the car talking. But it was intentional time. Time where we focused on each other, not on tasks. Your marriage needs attention. It won't survive if you ignore it. The fifth mistake was forgetting we were on the same team. When we argued, especially in those middle years, it felt like a competition. Like we were each trying to win, to prove the other person wrong. Every disagreement became a fight with a winner and a loser. But marriage doesn't work that way. If one person wins, you both lose. Because you're supposed to be partners. You're supposed to be moving through life together, not against each other. I think the turning point was when our older daughter got sick. Really sick. She was in the hospital for weeks, and Margaret and I had to make decisions about her care. We disagreed on things. But we couldn't fight. This was our daughter. So we talked. We listened. We compromised. And taking care of her together reminded us that we're a team. We're not me versus Margaret. We're me and Margaret, facing whatever comes. Every problem, every challenge, we're supposed to tackle it side by side. When you remember you're on the same team, arguments change. You stop trying to hurt each other. You start saying "help me understand" instead of "you're wrong." You look for solutions instead of looking to win. We're not perfect. Even now, at 81 and 79, we still mess up. I still forget things. She still holds things in too long. We still have moments where we fall back into old habits. But we catch ourselves now. We correct. We choose each other, every day. If I could go back and tell my younger self anything, it would be these 5 things. Stop keeping score. Accept who she is. Say the hard things before they explode. Never stop putting in effort. And remember you're on the same team. 60 years is a long time. We've buried friends. We've raised children who now have children of their own. We've survived loss and celebrated joy. We've changed from who we were in 1965. But we changed together. I don't know how much time we have left. Neither of us do. But while we're here, I wanted to tell you this. Maybe it'll save you some of the pain we went through. Maybe it'll help you hold on to something good. If this meant something to you, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs to hear it. We're glad you listened.